Michelangelo asks why people's merch sucks.
They just plastered their logo on a t-shirt and stickers and hope that it hits.
I'm currently in the middle of doing a load of laundry for Hermes merch. That's actually very relevant.
Hermes falls into the category of, at least if these shirts turn out at all, Hermes falls into the category of bands who pay attention to merch. I'd say for this conversation, let's avoid talking about local bands as much as possible because, 90% of everything is crap. That is Sturgeon's law, and it holds true. And I don't want to disrespect people who might be listening to the podcast.
But respectfully, there are a lot of sheeple out there.
Yes, and bands who are signed to record labels and making millions of dollars off merch, often it sucks. And people buy it because it's a little dopamine rush, but people can do better with merch.
If you're going to sell yourself as an artist, you should have art.
Yeah, all merch should be art. There's no reason for it not to be. Same idea as your Instagram feed. If your Instagram feed doesn't look like there's attention paid to it and there's a sense of aesthetics, then why are you on Instagram?
For the hoes.
I'll say that's why we're not on Facebook, or at least I'm not, is because I don't understand how to market on Facebook. I don't understand the systems they have in place and the features that can be used. Therefore, if I can't use the platform to its full extent, then there's no purpose for me being there trying to use the platform, and I'm not willing to put in the effort to actually work out the platform.
We repost all our stuff from Instagram to Facebook automatically.
Yeah, that's just a good automated feature to be able to use.
Yeah, but we are Zoomers, and I try to avoid Facebook like the plague.
We're kind of zillennials.
No.
We grew up in the age before technology was truly prevalent, before touchscreens, and in our formative years is when it started to pop into the mainstream.
We are elder Zoomers, for sure, but I was not a conscious, functioning human being when 9/11 happened. It was just part of my existence, and that's why I consider myself a Zoomer.
I don't think I'd been back to America when 9/11 happened.
That's a decent metric. I use VHS.
I think that's more proof of elder Zoomerdom. 9/11 is fascinating as somebody who does not give a shit about 9/11 because I'm a Zoomer. Because it's just a fact of life.
I was watching 9/11 videos last night.
It so profoundly affected so much of the world. And then there was an entire generation who grew up with the after effects, but none of the emotional impacts.
We grew up during the war on terrorism, and we know how it started through historical records, and we weren't really there for the societal impact.
Yeah, all we know is that it justified a whole lot of atrocities, and TSA...
Fuck TSA. Fuck TSA,
Fuck
dude.
TSA. There's no reason for it to exist.
Fuck you mean I can't bring shampoo on the plane?
TSA hates on my overalls. If I wear overalls through the metal detector, I have to get patted down every single time.
Also just means they can charge absurd prices for alcohol at the airport because you can't bring liquids in. But you can bring in a mini shampoo bottle of whiskey.
No one can tell me it's not part of my face routine.
Exactly.
Or gummies on your carry-on.
If I bring a bag of shiitake mushrooms and throw some psychedelics in there, no one will find out.
It's the place for some goth music. I just like that I got to be in a cage.
Yeah, we also had complaints that you were in a stripper cage and weren't shirtless.
That's a fact.
I heard those complaints, and I realized halfway through and was slightly annoyed that I didn't remove my shirt because I planned on it, but it didn't happen. I was just so excited about the cage that everything left my mind. I'm like, yes!
I can't be the only one shirtless partway through the show.
Jordan sometimes helps you out there.
Oh, he does. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you are the... Cut this out. You are the second most physically fit member in this band.
I try my best.
Without a shirt on, easily.
Physical fitness is how I make most of my money.
And that's going away.
Starts to cry.
Well, since we're cutting it out, who's the most?
Ethan is the most physically...
Yeah, I'll say myself.
Because that's my assumption. I just want to make sure you know that.
Ethan's the most visibly physically fit.
Yeah, I know. And I don't like to gas myself up because I don't like to feed the ego. Because I get insufferable if my confidence gets too high.
Well, if it helps you out some, sadly for a lot of us, I think Connor's the most actually practically physically fit, which upsets me thoroughly.
I don't know about that one.
Go try to change Ty's tire.
He got fucking lucky. You got lucky. We had
Go try
5
to-
people working on that before you even got there.
I'll say that I may well be the strongest member of the band.
I'd say with direct contributions, absolutely.
That doesn't translate to physically fit. It definitely doesn't translate to aesthetics.
I'm gonna say do a pull-up competition with him.
That's
yeah.
easy.
Pull-ups suck.
1-arm pull-ups. Done. I got 10. Easy.
If you do 10 and you do it first, I got 11.
I want to run this after this.
We could easily do a pull-up competition.
I can go get the bar right onto that door.
Do it. I'm fully confident that I could whoop his ass.
Should I go get the bar now?
After the podcast.
We need to first talk about the final subject, which was also the first subject. We got very sidetracked.
I'm also a little drunk right now.
Bullshit.
That's probably the perfect time to talk about band merch and why most people suck at it.
This is true.
If you have a white design on a black t-shirt, that's good and fun if you're selling it for $10. If you want people to pay $20 for it, put effort into it. That's my personal opinion, at least.
I mean, the number one rule is, as far as band tees or band shirts, band clothing, merchandise, fashion is art. And if it was just to keep you from being naked, then there's better options. It's an aesthetic choice.
Yeah, I'm going to go off, and no specific shade towards metal or anything, because, I mean, I play in a metal band. It's literally about to, if I say no specific shade, it's about to be specific shade.
Metal bands are kind of awful.
But yes, if your design looks from first glance, like a 2-second glance, exactly like a lot of other bands, and like somebody might get confused off the glance, just think about the shape of your logo, which I'm not saying I hate like that, the sketch art style metal band logos, because I do thoroughly appreciate the lineage which it came from and the idea behind it.
I appreciate the lineage, and it's overplayed.
It's overplayed. I saw one recently that I really like. I need to actually remember the name of the band. It was the band was semi-frog themed, and it was a metal logo that then it extended to look like a frog with its definitions of like how it worded the letters. And it was just, I have it saved somewhere because that was a case of, I understand, like, these are not supposed to be words that you're seeing. They're supposed to be an image that you're seeing. It's just everybody's using the same shapes and the same images. These dudes made a frog.
Shout out to Motionless in White.
For being named Motionless in White, they do a lot of motion while wearing black.
That was the first band I saw with the kind of intricate, not even really intricate, just kind of hectic design on their album. It was, oh my God, off their album With a Day to Remember, I think.
The whole, like, I don't know what other way to put it, the rhizomatic font.
That ribosome type beat.
Ribosome is a different thing, which is also interesting, but a rhizome is a better model for metaphysics.
Man, we're talking about proteins, because that shit beefy.
Anyway,
You drive me to drink.
it definitely has a cultural place, and in the 90s, it was absolutely the shit. Mm-hmm. But now it's more important as a reference to an idea. There's some bands that, like, if their shtick is being 90s style extreme metal, absolutely go for it. It's a good way to communicate what you sound like right off the bat. And sometimes that's helpful to hook people.
But at what time does a parody become overplayed?
Yeah. I was going to say the most interesting ways of using it are the bands that it makes no sense for. Mr. Bungle.
Ooh. Which is funny that you mentioned that, is the other person who has it, who is playing and touring with Mr. Bungle, is Otto von Schirach, which is the only person who I have a metal-looking shirt. And Otto is not metal. That is, I mean, that's what's fun. And I mean, I'm sure he was going off the same thing we were talking about. It's a play on this concept.
If your brand is built around something different is acceptable, but if that is all you plaster on t-shirts or stickers, it is overplayed. People have been doing it for the last 3 decades.
I mean, same deal with 100 Gex.
Oh, yeah.
They have the scratchy metal band style logo that they sell shirts of. But that's the joke, is that's not what they sound like. Their whole shtick is just being like a parody of music, and so why not parody the most overplayed style of logo there is?
Doritos and burritos.